This is Jose Miguel Kubes, and I'm introducing you to my leadership portfolio website. We start off at the homepage, in which I've been able to add an infographic that details Simon Sinek's why framework. The reason that this stands out for me is my journey at Pepperdine has really been one that has allowed me to identify the why. What is the reason that I do the things that I do? For me, my why is to disrupt the cycle of exclusion that is perpetuated by society to underserved communities. My 2 years of coursework at Pepperdine have provided me the opportunity to really be able to dive deep into what transformed me into the individual that I am today and how those experiences guide everything that I do. There's a brief intro there that speaks to why I've chosen to be a principal and why I hope that my role as principal will impact school communities. I did create an assignment checklist for myself to make sure that I kept track of all the assignments, and this actually helped me a great deal throughout the course because I was able to update any time that assignments were completed, and it helped me keep organized throughout. It also becomes a one-stop shop for videos that my professor can look at in regards to each of the assignments. The next section is the badges section, and I must say the gamification aspect of this class was engaging and entertaining in a very rigorous way. Uh, I was really intrigued by being able to work on assignments and getting the badge and posting those. I provided not just visual tracking of the work that I was doing, but it really allowed to kind of create those visual stepping stones. Unfortunately, this video will not have the very last badge on there, which I really do hope to be able to earn as well. There's a page that describes the group discussion that we had on 21st century learning, which was a big focus of this particular class. Although the infographic doesn't go into very specific information, it does speak to how looking at transformation as being the key for education, how leadership growth can come and be established through values, trust, collaboration, and specific action. This was a very intriguing conversation because I was speaking with colleagues, well, classmates from another cohort that I don't regularly get to see on a consistent basis, but to be able to spend time making meaning together really helped. The legacy audit reflection, this was interesting for me because I did revisit my original legacy statement last year when I first attempted this course, and revisited it again after a substantial period of time. It really had me reflect on a couple of things. A, I was not revisiting my original legacy statement on a regular basis. Many of the attributes and goals that I set forth through there, I wasn't really tracking them with the fidelity that I was doing the first time around. This was something that, as I revisit it again, it helped me really pause and reflect to see if I was really taking the actionable steps that were clear and precise to have me, be the leader that I wish to be. I had a recent change of workplace. I left Vista Charter Middle School and moved on to Alliance College Ready Public Schools. When I made the decision to move on, the revisiting of this legacy statement was a big part of it. As a matter of fact, when I informed my faculty that I was moving on, I issued them copies of this legacy statement, and I spoke to them as to why I was leaving. Vista Charter Middle School is a school that I helped establish with some really robust data-driven systems, and joining Alliance provided me an opportunity to go to a school that is in disarray and needs a lot of help. So when I spoke to my faculty, many of my teachers were hurt and sad that I was leaving, but I needed to issue them this legacy statement and let them know that my work at Vista was done. The school's in a good place, it's established, it's solid, and my why drove me to go to a new organization that is serving a school that is struggling and doesn't have the formality and the consistency that I'm leaving behind at Vista. I have to say that sharing the legacy statement with the faculty and having that discussion with them made it a lot easier for them to process the fact that in many ways I was abandoning them, but I was moving on to service another community. The next section is the simulations. These were very, very interesting. I myself am an individual person that likes to work alone. I have to say that the levels that required collaboration with other classmates were the ones that I enjoyed the most. I was very surprised about that because, like I said, I tend to be an individualistic creator. I feel, my introverted way of being makes it a lot easier for me to process information individually and work on things. But having to collaborate with others and not being with them face to face and using technology to collaborate made it very interesting and pushed me in ways that normally I wouldn't push myself. One thing that these simulations really, really did for me is they really pushed me to seek to understand. When I'm collaborating with classmates and we're not working together face to face, it forced me to pause, make positive suppositions, make positive assumptions, and ask specific clarifying questions when I felt that something wasn't going the direction that was clear for me. So this was really helpful. I did appreciate the levels that required collaboration with other classmates. Last and not least, we have the new technology application blog that tracks the use of Class Dojo at Vista Charter Middle School before I left at the end of June. This once again was very interesting process in that it was a technology that was somewhat new to the organization, but it wasn't being maximized. The link to the video is there as well. There we have it. This is my leadership portfolio website. Once again, it really captures part of my journey at Pepperdine, primarily identifying my why as far as what's going to drive me for transformational leadership. And lastly, this particular course did push me in ways that I felt, I never wanted to be pushed, but being in situations and scenarios and simulations that forced me to be a collaborator, a contributor, really helped me take things to the next level.